It was early 2014, and the stage was set for the prestigious Zurich Chess Challenge. Six of the world's best had gathered: Magnus Carlsen, Levon Aronian, Fabiano Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura, Boris Gelfand, and Viswanathan Anand. The format was blitz to determine pairings and classical and rapid to follow. Anand was walking into Zurich carrying the weight of heartbreak. Just months earlier, he had suffered a crushing defeat to Magnus Carlsen in the 2013 World Chess Championship, a loss that shook Anand to the core. Questions swirled. Was this the end? Had time finally caught up with the Tiger of Madras? In the third round of the rapid segment, Anand faced a young and hungry Fabiano Caruana. The game began calmly, but soon, Anand was being outplayed in the middle game with unsettling ease. His legendary positional understanding, once revered as among the best in the world, looked vulnerable. He lost the game. In fact, it was his third loss in as many games. By the end of the event, Anand finished last. For many, it looked like the final chapter. The great champion, seemingly in decline, might fade quietly into retirement. But that's not how the story ends. What followed was one of the most inspiring comebacks in modern chess history. Against criticism, doubt, and even time itself, Viswanathan Anand refused to bow out. This is the story of resilience, of grit, of a champion's hunger to fight back. This is the story of Vishy Anand's redemption. When Garry Kasparov retired from professional chess in 2005, still ranked world number one, it left a big question hanging. Who would take over as the top player in the world? At the time, there were three clear contenders: Vladimir Kramnik, Veselin Topalov, and Viswanathan Anand. All three had strong claims, and how they performed over the next few years would shape the post-Kasparov era. Anand had already been in excellent form, coming off impressive performances in 2003 and 2004. That momentum carried into 2007, which turned out to be one of the best years of his career. He achieved three major milestones that year. He crossed the 2,800 rating mark for the first time, became world number one, and won the World Championship in Mexico City, a double round-robin event with some of the strongest players in the world. And the success didn't stop there. In 2008, Anand faced Vladimir Kramnik in a classical World Championship match. Kramnik was widely considered one of the toughest opponents in match play. He had previously beaten Kasparov in 2000, drawn a match with Leko in 2004 to retain the title, and defeated Topalov in a tense unification match in 2006. But Anand prepared deeply and surprised everyone, especially Kramnik, by switching to 1d4 openings and going for sharp, complex positions. The strategy worked. Anand took a 3-point lead after just 6 games and eventually won the match convincingly. 2 years later, in 2010, Anand defended his title again, this time against Veselin Topalov. The match was far more back and forth, and Anand had to overcome several difficult positions. Still, he managed to win in the final game and retain his crown. By then, Anand had beaten both of his major rivals in World Championship matches. His dominance wasn't just about titles, it showed in the quality of his games as well. Between 2006 and 2010, Anand played some of his most creative and confident chess. You can see it in his attacking win against Karyakin in 2006, his crisp games against Aronian and Carlsen in 2007, and, of course, his preparation and execution against Kramnik in 2008. Interestingly, Anand, long known for his preference for 1e4, chose to switch to 1d4 in the 2008 match, leading to fresh, dynamic battles. That willingness to experiment, especially in high-stakes situations, was a sign that Anand was not just trying to hold on to the top spot, he was thriving. Even against rising stars, he held his own. By 2011, Anand had a 6-1 score against a young Magnus Carlsen, a reminder that he was still very much in control at the elite level. But then came 2011, and the narrative started to shift. The first half of 2011 was quite solid for Anand. He performed well at Tata Steel and won the Botvinnik Memorial ahead of big names like Carlsen, Kramnik, and Aronian, defeated Shirov in a match, and also took the Corsica Masters title. At a glance, things looked stable, but the second half of the year started revealing cracks. In September, Anand played the Grand Slam chess final tournament. His performance was lukewarm. 2 wins, 2 losses, and 6 draws. Not terrible, but far from his best. The concerns deepened at the Tall Memorial, where he drew all 9 of his games and finished in the lower half of the standings. Then came another middling result at the London Chess Classic in December. Slowly but surely, it seemed like wins were getting harder to come by. At this point, Anand's focus was increasingly on World Championship preparation. He had back-to-back matches against Kramnik in 2008, Topalov in 2010, and now the upcoming 2012 match against Boris Gelfand. All this intense preparation, especially in opening theory, was taking a toll. Anand was spending less time playing freely and more time preserving deeply prepared lines. The creativity and spontaneity that had once defined his style seemed to be fading. The match against Gelfand began with 6 straight draws, solid but uneventful. With wins becoming rare at the elite level, especially in World Championship settings, the margin for error was razor thin. In Game 7, Gelfand outplayed Anand in a sharp middle game, taking the lead. Anand immediately responded in Game 8 with a brilliant 17-move win, capitalizing on Gelfand's misjudgment. The match eventually went to rapid tiebreaks where Anand edged out a narrow win to retain his title. But something felt off. Even Gelfand later noted that Anand didn't seem to be at his usual level during the match. The result may have been in Anand's favor, but the overall performance raised eyebrows. He ended the year with more modest results. Another quiet run in the Grand Slam final, and a forgettable performance in the London Chess Classic. As 2013 began, there was some reason for optimism. Anand placed 3rd in Tata Steel and played one of his finest attacking games ever against Aronian. He also won the Grenka Chess Classic, a welcome sign. But that momentum didn't last. His performance at the 2013 Tall Memorial was poor, and the same issues were becoming more noticeable. Anand looked low on motivation, his play often passive. The creativity and energy that once flowed effortlessly were now hard to spot. Then came the 2013 World Championship match against Magnus Carlsen. Carlsen was the favorite going in, but fans and experts alike expected Anand to put up a serious fight. That didn't happen. Anand was outplayed in a one-sided match. He lost by a 3-point margin in front of his home crowd in Chennai. More than the score, it was the nature of the games that stood out. Anand couldn't drag Magnus into tactical complications and was instead ground down in a series of technical endgames. It was arguably the most disappointing match of Anand's career. The loss hit him hard. So much so that he seriously considered skipping the 2014 Candidates Tournament altogether. In press conferences, journalists asked whether he was thinking of retiring. For the first time in years, people openly questioned whether Anand still belonged at the top level. His rating also took a hit. Back in March 2011, he had been world number 1 with a rating of 2,817. By early 2014, he had dropped to 2,770 and world number 8. After a lackluster Zurich chess challenge, the outlook wasn't encouraging. Many believed that this was the end of the road, but beneath the surface, something was changing. A few years after his loss to Magnus Carlsen in the 2013 World Championship, Viswanathan Anand reflected on that period and described it as liberating. For the first time in over half a decade, he was no longer carrying the weight of being world champion. That pressure was gone, and in its place came a quiet clarity. When Anand entered the candidates tournament in March 2014, expectations were modest. Even he admitted that his goal was simply to stay in the top half of the standings and avoid a disastrous result. Very few believed he could win. The spotlight was on players like Levan Aronian and Vladimir Kramnik, while Anand flew under the radar. In round one, Anand was paired against Aronian, the tournament favorite and someone he had struggled against in the past. But what followed was a textbook display of positional understanding. Anand played a game of the highest quality, completely outmaneuvering Aronian and setting the tone for the rest of the event. It was like a completely different Vishy Anand on display. He followed that up with a sharp win over Mamedyarov in round 3 and a clean, methodical victory over Topalov in round 9. Anand stayed consistent throughout the tournament, going undefeated and finishing clear first. He was the only player in the field who didn't lose a single game. Quietly and confidently, he had dominated the candidates from start to finish. The Tiger of Madras was back, when almost no one had given him even a 1% chance. The momentum continued. Later that year, Anand took bronze at the World Rapid Championship, once again going undefeated, the only player in the event to do so. He also won the Bilbao Masters, adding another major title to his collection. This version of Anand looked fresh, focused, and confident. There was a noticeable shift. He seemed more relaxed at the board, more expressive in his ideas, and more resilient under pressure. This resurgence gave fans hope that the upcoming World Championship rematch with Carlsen in November 2014 would be far more competitive than their first encounter. And it was. Anand struck early in Game 3 to level the score, marking his first classical win in a World Championship game against Magnus. In Game 6, Carlsen famously blundered a tactic, and Anand had a golden chance to seize the lead, but missed it. The match was close, but ultimately Carlsen edged it out. Still, Anand's form was strong. He finished the year with another impressive result, winning the London Chess Classic. Even into his mid-40s, he was proving that he could still keep up with the very best. In 2015, Anand continued to perform at the elite level. He had strong showings at Shamkir Chess and Norway Chess, defeating Carlsen in the latter, and reaching a peak rating of 2,817, matching his career best, and rising to world number 2. Then came one of the biggest highlights of his post-title career, the 2017 World Rapid Championship. At the age of 48, Anand stunned the chess world once again by winning the title, defeating several top players along the way, including Magnus Carlsen. What changed? Why did Anand, in the later stages of his career, continue to perform at such a high level? A large part of the answer lies in mindset. With no World Championship crown to defend, Anand began playing more freely. He wasn't protecting preparation. He was expressing ideas. His games against Wesley So and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in 2015 were brilliant examples of creative, sharp chess. He looked like a player enjoying the game again, not just surviving it. His hunger to learn also never faded. In interviews and commentary, such as his deep dive into Game 6 of the 2018 Carlsen-Caruana match, you could still see the curiosity and enthusiasm in his eyes. That's the mindset of a lifelong competitor. And it wasn't just his attacking brilliance that stood out. Anand's defensive resilience remained world-class. Take his candidate's 2013 game against Karyakin, where he held a worse position for hours, or his legendary 122 move draw against Carlsen in Game 7 of the 2014 World Championship. Faced with a bad position and two choices, not sacrifice a piece but put up with pawns on kingside, or to sacrifice a bishop and reduce number of pawns, but taking a risk piece down, Anand chose the latter, trusting his defense. And he held. That game was a testament to his mental strength and endgame precision. His legacy isn't just in his titles or rating peaks, it's in what he built. The revolution he sparked in Indian chess has changed the country's landscape. Vishy Anand's story is more than just a career. It's a foundation for the next generation,